Inception, for me, is one of the most inventive and the idea and screenplay I've seen on screen, and with Shutter Island by Martin Scorsese, with which this film has many similarities, the most original of the year. What have you thought when you have read it? Were you fascinated when you read the script as we are, seeing the result on the screen?
First of all, getting the opportunity to read an original Christopher Nolan script is a pretty exciting thing, and I mean, it was just phenomenal, you know, to have such an unbelievably original idea that was so refreshing, and to have so much complexity yet be so cohesive, and despite the clear scale of it, to feel so honest, and to have an emotional through line that was incredibly touching, even just off the page. Just really a mind-blowing and one of the best screenplays I've ever read, and just absolutely grateful to have been involved with it.
You know, I'd agree with what Ellen said. I think the first read was definitely like you had to apply yourself. It was unlike anything else I'd ever read. You could see clearly that it was something original and something conceptually unlike anything I'd certainly ever read. Yeah, it did require Chris to kind of simplify it a little bit for me to get my head around the actual sort of rules and stuff. But once you did, then it all came together very quickly. And as Ellen said, you know, what makes it so compelling is not just this concept that he's come up with in this world that he's describing and investigating, is the fact that it has this emotional foundation to it that I don't think it would work otherwise. You can make all the spectacle and all the explosions and all of that, and unless you have, you know, actors that the audience can invest in and identify with, it won't succeed. And Chris does both of those things brilliantly. So, and also the thing is, if it's Chris Nolan, you're like, yes, even before you ever read it, pretty much, you know, because he's so phenomenal, really.
Yeah, of course, I didn't have a reason to decline of this project, you know, Chris Nolan. But when I read the script, I asked me, you know, I needed more skill up my English more. It's so confusing, you know, just I couldn't understand the whole thing. Just first 30 pages, I needed to go back to read it again 3 times. And then I catch some rule of the story, you know, dream within a dream or something. And then I could feel some great human drama, and yeah, I tried.
I was just so happy that I didn't know what was going to happen next. Normally you read a script, especially for a big action movie, and it's so formulaic. Yeah, I've seen this one before. But this was such a fresh and original idea. It was a page-turner from front to back. It kept me guessing and thinking and caring, and it makes it a pleasure to read.
When I first read the script, I thought this was... I had to read it again a couple of times initially to understand it, but because it's very much a concept piece, and clearly Chris is the mastermind behind it's a visionary piece which is specifically bred within him. So it delivers on a page-by-page basis a methodical approach to the understanding of his world. So what I found very complicated to get, and then simplified with further reads, was him putting in boundaries and rules within his imagination and taking a subject like dreams and subconscious, and then formulating a very concise and meticulously planned piece-by-piece scenario with multi-layers. So actually, by the time we got to the floor, it was very, oddly enough, it was a very simple project to participate in as an actor or performer, which was a pleasure. And another pleasure was to be able to entirely hand myself over to a director and say, look, what is it that you need me to do? And I don't really need to think here, you know, at all, because he's done all the work. So I was very grateful. And anyway, I'd do anything for Chris Nolan, pretty much. You know, anything.